I like the logo, Tony.
We're good. We're good.
Say it again?
I said I like your logo.
Oh, thank you.
He actually made mine too.
Nice.
All right, hey guys, we're live. I appreciate everybody watching out there. We got a few guys watching. Today we have GY6 with us. We got Tony Bushan, and we got David and myself, GY6. First thing we're gonna do is the Bible verse. Go ahead, David. You can do the Bible verse now.
Okay. The Bible verse tonight's going to be Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I, send me."
Good stuff.
Amen, brother. I like that.
Amen to that. All right, so with that being said, let's do a quick intro. You guys know me. I'm GY6, and I run here a YouTube channel, and I pretty much talk about whatever comes to my mind on that specifically day. Tony, you want to do your intro?
Hey guys, Tony Bushan. My channel is supposed to be about hunting, but it's also arranged.
There you go.
Some crazy editing. Other than that, I'm doing a whole bunch of editing and logos for other channels, and I'll be putting up a video of all the work that I've done with all the other channels, big names and stuff. So that's me.
Very, very cool, man. David?
Hey everybody, I'm David. My YouTube channel is Boy Kentucky Guns and Fun. I do videos on hunting, fishing, firearms. I'm doing a few reviews of some products recently, some holsters and belts and things. So that's going to be upcoming. That's what I've got going on now.
Cool, cool. And GY6, man, well, first of all, we appreciate you coming.
Of course.
It's freaking awesome, man. I'm good stuff, man. So you want to do just do an intro and tell us about your channel, and pretty much we got an hour, man. So tell us whatever you want to tell us.
Absolutely. My name's Andrew. I'm with GY6VIDS YouTube channel. I've been on YouTube for almost 3 years now. Channel's constantly growing. I do gun and gear reviews, blow crap up, anything that has to do with gun and gear, explosions, anything that goes bang or boom. I'm usually putting it on my channel. Keep everything clean as possible because I know kids are out there watching and trying to set a positive example on the gun community side of things. So when people are watching, they learn a little bit. They know they can have their kids watch as well and not have to worry about plugging their ears all the time.
Cool, cool, cool. Man, I saw that video you pulled out with the automatic locks. Oh, man. I mean, I got a Glock 17 and I got a Glock 19 here in the house, and wow, man, that was very cool. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it was a Glock 17 with a selector switch on it. It's a little adapter switch that's implanted in the gun. It allows you to go from single fire, single shot, semi-automatic to fully automatic. There's just a switch to the button in the back of the slide. And it's 1,700 rounds, I think 1,700 to 1,800 rounds per minute, so it dumped a 30-round mag pretty dang quick. But it's god-awful rate of fire. I mean, to hold on to this thing alone is just, you can't help but smile, whether you're a gun person or not a gun person. Just the rate of fire is incredible. But I have another video coming soon with a 100-round beta mag, so it's something to be seen, I'll tell you that right now.
That is awesome.
I got pumped, man. I saw that video, and I was hearing my computer getting pumped. I was like, I thought it was a Marine again. I was like getting ready to fire something.
Yeah, it definitely gets the blood flowing.
I've got a question for you, Andrew. If it's okay. I appreciate what you said earlier. I've got a young daughter who I'm just getting into the shooting sports. She owns a couple rifles, and as you said, we need to set great examples. Do you do any type of stuff with children, and anything's going on that way with your channel?
Not so much on YouTube, but outside of YouTube, yes. I'm always working on in my area where I live, and working with families and getting the kids out in the range, helping them out. Anytime I have people asking me questions, I'm all ears. I think way too much shooters in general, let alone people on YouTube and people that have a lot of things on their plate, they don't put enough time into actually talking to people rather than talking at them. I think people really need to take the time to actually settle down and speak in the layman's terms, get on the level of the shooter they're with, to get them to understand how to shoot properly and the tactics behind it. Too many times people get caught up, like to hear themselves talk rather than actually talk to the person they're trying to train. So it's a big difference between the two.
No doubt. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree on that. I made the same kind of like the same statement when it comes down to like open carry and things like that. Sometimes, a lot of times we see these guys like, hey, we want to open carry. Well, if your point is to teach people about the Second Amendment, you need to come out with a plan to teach them. Maybe, going into a place with an AR-15 and an AK-47, you're not teaching that person. You're actually scaring that person. So, maybe, I don't know, maybe set up a place where they could come to you or have something that you could actually teach them instead of scaring them. Because some people are just going to get scared, man.
Yeah, and that's the tactic with training. You got to really focus on the situation of what you're training them for. I mean, a lot of people train for, if you had 16 people come in your house, how do you engage these targets? Like, you could teach that, but really is it needed? The biggest thing is to teach the fundamentals behind shooting and knowing your target and what's around it. And if you can get those things taught properly and let them kind of focus on those points, everything else kind of falls into place. The biggest issue, though, is people, they get that gun, they get that permit, and they never go out and practice for the situation that could happen. They just draw from their holster, they point on their target, they hold their bead, and they pull the trigger. They never practice reactive shooting. They don't practice drawing from the hip and shooting from the hip. So when the crap does hit the fan, they're totally unprepared, and they can possibly cause more harm than good.
Yeah, I agree totally, and it goes back to realistic training too. And I know I preach about this in my channel. We don't need to train. We have a lot of YouTube operators here, and at one point I did operations and all that, and I went to a bunch of race schools and stuff like that. So I'm pretty familiar with what it is to go and hit a target. But that is not realistic what's going to happen. What you need to train on is, I don't know, like, I carry inside the waistband, how to properly get your gun out and react and engage the target at a close range. You don't need to wear your flat jacket, your AR-15 and do so much training. Like what I'm saying is, like, a lot of times people go into the advanced training and they kind of miss that latter step. They should go into the fundamentals first, and then you continue to advance. And that's a problem that I see here with a lot of new guys. That they go straight for that advanced training. You just learn the fundamentals, people. Crawl, walk, and run. Don't go running. Crawl and walk first.
Exactly. Yeah, you get to get those basics down. That's people skip over too quick, and they try to be Captain America and run out there and just start blazing away. And like, you got to get the fundamentals down. That's your base. You got to have it.
What do I know? I only train Marines for combat for a few.
What do you know?
I'm sure somebody's gonna dislike this video. I got a few trolls following me.
Hey, if you don't have trolls, you're not doing something right.
So
gotta have your trolls.
I told Tony that he had to come out with some questions for you. So let's see if he's prepared.
Okay.
Did you? I didn't get that. I didn't get the text. No, one question is, how your channel?
I can't really hear you, buddy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you hear
me?
broke
up, Tony. Yeah.
How long have you had your channel up?
My channel's been up for a little over 2.5 years. I think it's pushing 3 years now. I had originally a couple YouTube channels before this one, but it didn't really have a topic-based focus. I had a bunch of shooting, a bunch of real life stuff, and I don't know. I just didn't have a really good focus on what I wanted to do. So I erased everything, kept a few of the older videos, and started this channel, GY6VIDS, and really stuck to the basics of being all things guns. And there's a lot of channels that they stick to one topic, ballistics testing or just shooting guns or gear reviews. And so you go to those groups for those certain things. I wanted to have something where when you saw I post a video, you have no clue what it's going to be.
Right.
So when you go to see that video, it could be something really hardcore ballistics gel testing to the point and get very serious, to me shooting full auto firearms from the hip or flamethrowers between my legs. It doesn't really matter. So it just has this whole spectrum of entertainment.
The other question is, the majority of your subscribers, would you say it's the gun community or gamers or
it's the gun community. In my analytics, I have I'd say about 80% of my viewers are from age 25 to 55 years old, and majority of them are male. I have about a 8 to 9% female ratio that I watch, but most of them are male from 25 to 55. So, and their majority of them are the hunting community, the gun community, all things tactical type of way.
Cool. Cool.
But I do have gamers. Yes, I do have a lot of gamers as well, because I've done some real life testing of game situations that just they get all excited about, because it's what they see in a game actually put in reality. So
cool.
It's entertaining.
And go ahead, John.
I'm sure you had to. I mean, I'm sure you had to put a bunch of safety measures when it comes down to like blowing things up. Like,
Yep.
like how do you make one of like? I don't know how exactly you do this video. What is the process of you making a video where you're gonna blow something up, which is extremely cool?
Well, the explosives I use are reactive targets. I don't deal with C4 or det cord or any type of dynamite. I deal with all legal reactive targets. Anybody can buy this in the United States. As long as you're 18 and older, you can buy this product and you can send it to your doorstep. It's two chemicals you mix together, but I never talk about the process of how to do it, because I don't want somebody trying to replicate it or doing something the wrong way and hurting themselves. So I never talk about how to make it or the close-ups on when I'm mixing it. If they want to know, they can always go to the companies that sell that product, and they can go from there. But I just do safeguards, let people know to be careful. You know, a lot of times I'm shooting stuff from a lot closer than you should be, but I've also cleared the area of all debris and rocks. I've cleared the area of all sticks and twigs and stuff that can come back at me. If I'm blowing something up as an object, like a tree, like I've done before, or a soda bottle on the ground, I make sure that the debris that can come back at me is harnessed away from it. So I did in the tree explosion, I wrapped it in a way that it forced all the debris away and out from where I was standing rather than coming back at me. And I mention that in most of my videos and tell people to be careful. So it's tough. I mean, there's always going to be that gray area of people that are surprised when they drink hot coffee, it's actually hot. So there's nothing really you can do.
And is that all? Does that come from sponsors, or are you buying that out of your pocket?
I've been sponsored by In the Red Exploding Targets for
cool.
about 2 years now, and very good company, great guy who owns the company, really down to earth. He usually goes out of his way to help other companies and businesses to give them, you know, product promotions and stuff like that. So, so I do get my sponsorship from them, but now that I'm a bigger channel, when I was starting off, they helped me out a lot with free stuff, but now that I'm a bigger channel, I feel it's necessary to kind of pay my own way now. Product-wise, they still hook me up when I need it, because it's a good promotion for them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do we get a discount if we use your name when we go buy?
Yeah. If you do. If you go
I know that stuff, man.
Yeah. If you go to InTheRedExplodingTargets.com, you can enter GY6VIDS and you get 15% off.
Sweet.
Yeah. And tell them you were on a talk show with me, and I guarantee you'll probably give you free shipping or something like that too.
All right, it's done.
Yeah.
That is a great company, man. They actually sent me something last year sometime, you know, about, you know, a pound of their little 22 targets. I mean,
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's explosive, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, they're fun.
I love that feeling, man. When that thing goes off, that feeling that you feel.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm just thinking about 2 months from now when you get a phone call, Andrew says something like, "Oh, this guy Tony," and you're like, "Who's Tony?"
He said he gets everything for free now. You said you told him that.
Yeah, you don't even remember. You're like going back to all your videos and you've been like, "Where?"
I'm like, what? No,
Man,
I have a pretty good elephant-like memory.
Sweet.
I was going to ask you a question about your Will It Burn series, man, and how fun is working with that type of stuff?
Oh man, there's certain times you got to make fun of yourself and just have fun. And I ran into a company called FlamethrowerPlants.com, and great down-to-earth guy. Like I said, everybody I work with is down-to-earth and really good people. I don't mingle or mix with people that are shady, no matter what they give me for free. So I ran into FlamethrowerPlants.com. They make custom flamethrowers from scratch. I ended up getting one from them, and I made a series called Will It Cook. And to tell you the truth, this thing is so much fun, because you literally just take the top off the thing, you fill it with whatever propellant you want, gasoline, diesel, oil, gas mix, whatever you want, and it pumps it through this thing off of a CO2 container, and it comes out of obviously a nozzle and spigot in the front, and it shoots a good 30, 40, 50 feet even, depending upon the pressure you have behind it. and it's god awfully hot, but so much fun. I burned. Actually, I used to have a wristwatch I wore in like every video I made in the past, and it melted it off my wrist because I was trying to hold the button or the trigger down and actually hit this one object for a long period of time, and I saw the hairs on my arm actually starting to curl, and I looked down at my watch. The plastic on the band was melting off. So, you know, when you're holding it down for 30 seconds straight, it ends up doing that. That's a lot of fun. What was that?
Have you ever gotten hurt? Serious hurt?
No, I've never really gotten hurt. Any injuries while shooting? In the past, before I made videos, I had some incidents with a couple buddies of mine and myself that was a learning experience, to say the least. Nothing out of our own negligence, but you know, just a freak situation where you never know when there's that rock in that hill you don't see. Right. And it's a story to be taken to my grave. But let's just say I'm still ticking, and I don't have a bullet hole in me, but it should have been. I'm vertical and ventilated still, which is good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Man, do you have all those safety guys that always like telling you like safety things like, what about this? What about that? You deal with that stuff?
All the time. And those are those guys out there that they mean well, but they also want to be the guy that knows more than you do. So it's hard to differentiate between somebody who's there to actually looking out for you or somebody who's there just trolling on your video to make something look bad. But yeah, I do get a lot of people like that, and the people I know that are just trying to look out for me, I appreciate. The people that are just trying to troll, I say let them keep talking, because you know, the more a dumb person talks, the more you know they're retarded, so it's fine.
Yeah. It kind of is. Yep. I mean, I guess you got used to it by now, because
it's
I know,
very thick skin.
Yeah. At the beginning, I was like getting pissed off, and now it's kind of like, whatever, man.
Gotta laugh it off, man. My main comment is, you need Jesus, and I just leave it at that.
I hear this all the time. Because I say God is in control a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, if God is in control, how come you need a weapon, a firearm? I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna even start with you, man. Like, whatever, man. I will pray for you, brother. Continue
Exactly. You're an idiot to argue with
the channel, man. You know.
Yep.
So
there's always gonna be haters, brother. You just gotta keep your chin up and just plow through them.
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine being in the 90,000, dude. Like because you like answer pretty much every comment, man, and that's something that I'm like, wow, man, like this guy answers my comments. Yep. I was kind of like impressed, you know.
People are starting to think I have somebody behind the computer, like I pay to answer comments for me, and I don't. I spend close to 2 to 3 hours at night answering comments.
I was going to ask you that, so I guess scratch that question out of the way.
Yeah, it's a long process, but I mean, I can't get to every one of them now, because it's gotten to the point where it's just god awful amounts of comments and a lot of emails I get from companies and people, and you know, I skim through them, and if there's, you know, good job, I try to say thanks a lot or something. But if it's something in depth and somebody took the time to leave a huge comment, I'll take the time to respond to that person, because they've obviously taken time out of their day. The least I can do is take time out of mine. So, yeah, 2 to 3 hours a night on comment sections for my viewers. It's not easy, but it's worth it, because without my viewers, I can't do what I do.
Yep. That's I can't even imagine, dude, because I get so many comments, and I mean, I'm just a little bit over 2,000, so I can't even imagine, dude.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Is this all you do, or you have like a 9 to 5 or something else?
I've worked for a gun shop in town where I live for quite some time now, and I'm actually cutting myself down to only the weekends with them, because I do Monday through Friday YouTube. So I work 7 days a week. A year and a half ago, I was working 5 jobs along with YouTube. Wow. Just to make ends meet, because I was putting in thousands and thousands of dollars in travel expenditures and camera equipment, and I needed to fund what I knew would eventually be where it's at now, and what's going to be, you know, a year from now. You know, it takes money to make money, and I just kept my head to the path I needed to be on, and just started pumping away. So,
yeah. Well, we got a lot of small channels in here. What were you giving us an advice? So, like, some of these guys are trying to make it, you know what I'm saying?
Stay consistent to who you are, rather than trying to mold yourself around what people want. A sentence I've always said to myself and to my friends: if you put enough time and passion into anything, it'll become popular with a certain group of people. So as long as you have that passion and that time you put into something you want to do, it'll eventually take off one way or another.
Cool, cool, cool. You got anything, Davis?
Let's see. As far as the firearms, man, you know, you always got a bunch of awesome firearms that you're working with. Are those all yours? Are those all loaners? Equipment from companies. I mean, so, and I know, you know, you don't want to get it, not tell everything about everything, but what you can talk about, you know, some of the weapons and
Yeah,
where they come
absolutely.
from.
Absolutely. Some of the high-end, like really unique firearms you see, like I've tested the M32A1 grenade launcher with Milcor USA. That was a few months back, probably pushing 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah. I hated it, man. You
I
liked
know
it?
it's horrible. Horrible, right?
It's horrible. Horrible. I mean, it's affected. If you ever get in a firefight and you have that thing with you, it's awesome. But it's
But
heavy,
carrying it
man.
sucks. Yeah.
Carrying that thing is out, and it's
Yeah.
so heavy, man.
They're making new mounts for it though too, so you have a better sling attachment point, so it takes the weight and bears it over your shoulders more. So
Yeah.
they're modifying it, but yeah, it's definitely a hog nonetheless. But as far as the guns I shoot, let's just say I have a lot of firearms, less than 1,000 and more than one. But a lot of the unique guns I get, I either fly out to certain states and test them with companies, or I'll have a friend that's got them in another state, and I'll go out there and shoot them with him or them. I have a lot of weapons manufacturer friends that are kind enough to let me borrow their guns for a day or a week, and they trust me with them because they've done it in the past. So it just comes down to the situation and the firearm. But like the flamethrowers and the cannons and the fun stuff like that, I'd rather not say which one is mine and which one's not, but it comes down to having great contacts and never burning your bridges when it comes to good people. If somebody's got a lot of fun toys and they're an ass, I'm not going to work with them. I don't care what toys they have. It's not worth it. You got to stick with who you are, and you start hanging out with dogs, you start to get fleas.
Yeah, very good, man.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Very good.
Were you picked the flamethrower or the Glock 17 automatic in case of zombies?
Flamethrower, all the way. All the way. Because, for one, that thing, one burst will set something on fire. It's so damn hot. It's just unbelievably hot. And plus, I would love to see a zombie on fire running around. Yeah, the Glock 17 full auto, it's a blast. But man, that thing, you better be having a strong back to carry all the ammo to reload.
Yeah.
Because even if you just tap that trigger, you're sending at least 3 rounds down range.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you carry for your EDC?
My EDC, my number one go-to, depends upon the situation. If it's summertime and I don't really have a lot of gear on or a lot of clothes on, I usually conceal with just a standard Ruger LCR 357 Magnum. So it's a small, little compact, polymer framed revolver, really slim, very light. I throw it in the pocket holster and put it in my pocket, and it's on the go. If I'm working with more jeans and t-shirt, I'll work with the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9. I love 9mm. And if something bigger, if I'm wearing a jacket, I run my Glock 22.
I'm a big fan of 9mm too. It's just it's cheap.
It's effective as heck. I will stand by my word when I say a 9mm will do what you need it to do when the time comes, and it's light and it's faster, so you're gonna have a lot better penetration when it comes to it. But it's everybody's got their favorite, and if you shoot better with a 45 ACP and I shoot better with a 9, then they're equal. You can shoot with your 45, I'll shoot with my 9. It comes down to the shooter. It doesn't come down to the stats. If you can't hit crap with a 9mm, then stick with your 45, and vice versa. I'd rather have 10 rounds of something small that I'm very accurate with that I carry every day, rather than 10 rounds of something big that I'm horrible with that I'll never carry.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, man. And when it comes down to maybe carrying your gun or whatever, I get it. But if something ever happened, 45, 40 cal, they're just a little bit more heavy. And when you're carrying stuff, you want to minimize your weight. And I know some people will say, well, it's not so much. Yeah, when you're carrying a pack, you're carrying a rifle, you're carrying a pistol, you're carrying ammo, anything will make it different. And, I think 9mm is effective. The military uses it. I've seen it in combat, and it works. So if the military uses it, typically it's a good weapon or a good round.
Yeah,
So,
and I've done heads-up tests with 45 ACP versus 9mm before, and I've seen a very small difference in permanent wound cavity. They had almost identical distance traveled in the gel, same block, mind you, same type of ammunition, mind you, same distance in the gel, same permanent wound cavity. The biggest difference was the kinetic energy impact on the first shot. The 45 obviously made the gel move a little bit more, and you had a lot more of the kinetic energy impact, but when it comes down to it, it's the blood loss that stops your target. It's not the first initial hit. And granted, their target's going to feel more when you hit them with the 45, but when that blood drains, that's when the body shuts down. So if the permanent wound cavity is what I'm looking for, and the trauma caused by a round. So.
You start learning, if you do training and you start doing double tap or, failure to stop drills, things like that, 2 in the chest, 1 in the head.
Yep.
I mean, those are drills that would take somebody down, no question. The person would not survive. So.
And I look at my pistol as a way of getting me out of a bad situation. Granted, I don't want to kill anybody, but if I were to be attacked, I want something that's going to be effective and useful for getting me to my exit point. I'm not going to stick around. I will shoot somebody as many times as I can while retreating and get the hell out of Dodge and call the cops from a distance, because there's no need to be sticking around a situation. People always try to get in depth with what to do around the body and how to command other people around you. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to get the hell out of there, and I'm going to call the cops and tell them my story, and then we'll go from there. But I'm not going to stick around and make me look like the bad guy who just shot somebody.
Yeah.
So.
I think we hurt Tony's feelings because he has a 40 cal.
I like 42. Like I just said, a Glock 22. I love 40 as well. So don't worry, Tony.
I'm carrying the 40 right now, but I'm getting the MMP Shield next in 9. So
there you go. No, 40 is great. 40 is fantastic. It's just I think people get too much stuck in this argument of what's best, and it's not about what's best. It's about what you're best with. Plain and simple.
Man, I've been saying that for so long. Yeah, it's how can you could have a Remington 700 with a $3,000 scope. If you don't know how to shoot, you're not gonna hit anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're the weapons. It's the tool. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but I love that you make that point, because I've been kind of preaching that for a while. Training is critical, man. Every video that I put out, I talk about training. If you're not well trained, and it doesn't even have to be just firearms physically. You have to be able to keep up.
Yep.
Put a pack on and take a 5-mile walk, and if at the end of those 5 miles you can't walk, you're gonna die. If something happens, you're gonna die because you can't keep up. You know.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and granted, everybody's situation is different. I mean, a lot of people right now that want to know about guns are the standard issue mom and pop that want to have a gun that's going to work for them when they need it, and they never go any further than their usual, their doors or their neighborhood. So it's different for everybody. But like I said, it comes down to what people are good with and what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Sure.
Let me see if I got any. If you guys got any questions here in the comments, I'm following the comments. Just put them down.
Andrew, I'll ask you a question about a video I watched here recently, man. It looked like a real cool knife that had a CO2 feature about it.
I was going to ask about that.
Tell me, is that the real deal? I mean, it looked to me like it was working a pumpkin, or not a pumpkin, but a watermelon over. So.
It was the real deal. My friend brought it there. Actually, he's a good friend of mine. He won. He's got the highest score on. God, I can't remember. Doomsday Preppers. He's got the highest score on Doomsday Preppers ever, the TV show. And I was out in Florida, and he was nice enough to come on down to the gun range where we have, and he brought a bunch of his toys. And he opens up this case, and it's this knife. I'm like, is this a ballistics knife? I was like, what the hell is this thing in the back? And ended up telling me it's called the Wasp, and it's a CO2 injected knife, and it's meant for diving. So when you stab a shark, the CO2 freezes the entry wound, so the blood doesn't go in the water where you're at, and the ignition of gas going into the target will float the shark to the surface and get it away from you. So if the blood does start coming out, it doesn't go around you. But now they're marketing it. The Wasp is now marketing it as a tactical knife for defense, and it's scary to say the least. Like the video you saw is the first time I ever saw it work. So my reaction is priceless because I didn't know what it was going to do. I had no clue how it was going to react on a watermelon. That wasn't like take 3 or 4. That was like the first time I stabbed it in something and hit the button. and it just demolished the watermelon and cut it straight in half. I mean,
Yeah, I saw
no problem with that. And it torques your hands. Like I did a little shot where I did it outside the watermelon, if you don't remember, and I hit the button, and it literally has enough force where it torqued my arm down, and I'm a strong guy. And I was like, holy crap. So it's a real deal. If you got stabbed with that thing, I wouldn't even want to think about what would happen to your internals.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I could do that. It looked like it would be the real deal.
Yeah, I'm trying to work with Wasp right now to get a few knives, and if I do, I'm gonna be stabbing hog heads. I'm gonna start stabbing carcasses. I'm gonna stab everything with that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. I was like, when are you gonna bring out the meat?
Yeah, it's really tough though. Because it's a fine line between what I want to risk. Because with YouTube, especially when you become a little bit bigger on YouTube, they start flagging your videos. If anything's gross or disgusting, they'll flag it, and I instantly will make a tenth of the views I'd make on it as I usually would. So at this point, though, I want to see it so bad, and I want to post the video so bad. I don't care if they block the damn video. I'm gonna seriously just
at the end, just barbecue the meat. So like everybody's cool with it.
Just say it's a flavor injecting knife. Is what it's doing. Just put a little pap seasoning behind it and stab it on in.
Man, people are so haters, man.
They are.
Our company's always approaching you, Andrew, with products such as that, those stuff that you know, might be just off the wall or not even useful, just kind of out there.
Yes, they are. I get a lot of companies through ammunition, especially sending me new products that are coming out for defense and stuff like that. I get some really unique things sent to me or talked about around me, like you know the tracking point rifle that came out that tracks where you shoot, and it's pretty much just all computerized. You ever seen that?
With the iPhone?
No. The tracking point rifle, it's all computerized. It's got the scope you look through is actually an LCD monitor, and it's tracking what you're shooting at. And even though you look like your crosshairs are on target, the scope is counteracting the movement of the target if it's running or if it's swaying in the wind. And as long as the crosshairs light up red, all you got to do is hold down the trigger, and the gun won't even go off until it comes in the proper alignment. And then once it comes in proper alignment, the gun shoots itself. So it takes away all human error out of it. Plus, it also takes away true marksmanship out of it too, because the gun is shooting accurately, not you.
Are you working with them?
I was about to say I was originally hit up by them before it even came on the market. They called me, or I should say they emailed me over a year and a half, 2 years ago to come out and test their product. But I was too skeptical at the time, and also it was going to be in a huge group of people as a media day to come see this thing. And at the time, I was working 4 jobs and couldn't afford to go down there. And also, I was kind of skeptical on how it would really play out with the hunting community, because as a hunter and as hunters out there watching, and like yourself, David, it's almost a slap in the face, because it takes away all human element. You are no longer shooting. It's just you holding down a trigger, and the gun is shooting itself. So
I went to the NRA convention in Indianapolis, and there's a Remington booth set up, and I brought the brochure home, and it's that particular. I mean, it's that gun. It's a you know, for $5,000 you can have that. And, you know,
that takes the fun out of it, man.
Yeah,
it takes the fun out of shooting. Now, granted, that's not to say I don't like it. I like the fact that they're coming out with these new, unique ideas. That's really cool, because we need more ingenuity like that, and we need more advanced technology pushing forward. But as a shooter, I shoot for fun, and I love it. If I'm not the one pulling that trigger, and I'm not the one, you know, making it hit its target, I feel like I'm just taken out of the equation.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, who's to say technology doesn't mess up, and you hold down that trigger, and it sends that bullet 20 yards above target one day, and you peg something way out there that you don't want to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's, you know, accidents could happen, and the sport of it, like you say, it's all gone at that point.
Yeah, and if you're holding down the trigger and just waiting for it to light up red, and one day it decides to take a crap on you and just lets go of that round, and you're not ready, I mean, that could be bad real fast.
Yes.
Let's all cross our fingers and hope that it doesn't happen, but that could be a bad situation.
You're not paying attention, you're looking back, and the rifle goes off.
Yeah, you're like, I'm just holding it down like you said. Bam. Blow your neighbor's cow out of his yard.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of the Remington 700, and I guess now they got that thing with the trigger or whatever going on, but I don't know, man. I've always been a fan of the Remington 700. I don't have one yet, but it's in the list.
the 700 is one of the best actions ever made, and I love it. But that trigger, I mean, you know, if you're setting a bolt home and it sends the round off, that's not good. You know, not good at all. Pull a Dick Cheney real fast.
Yeah, I heard some things that they really didn't want to take it. They really didn't want to take responsibility of. That's kind of messed up. But I mean, I'm sure they're gonna fix it.
Yeah, they are. The gun shop I worked at, we sent back I think over 60 rifles. So.
Wow.
Yeah, because they recalled all of them. They just told us to send them all back in, so we boxed them up, send them back, and they're taking care of everything. So it's something they can't have on their hands. I mean, if somebody were to get killed by that, they would be no longer a company.
Andrew, I've got a question about your ballistics gel. I'm getting ready to do a test. I bought a clear gel ballistics block, and I'm going to test it. As soon as I get like an RIP round of 9mm or something like that, that's going to look real cool.
I can send you one.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Do you reuse the gel, though, and work it back into something that's reusable? Because I know sometimes you actually get introduced other media into it, like shooting through things and stuff like that. And how does that work out for you?
Oh, God. That's why I don't post a whole lot of ballistics gel videos, because to recook it, it takes a long time, and I'm kind of a stickler for being precise on things. So the gel, it's easy to reuse. It doesn't rot. It doesn't melt unless it goes above like 300-something degrees. Fantastic product to use. But yeah, whenever I have a block of gel, I usually reuse it at least 15 to 20 times.
Oh,
so,
cool.
But it comes down to what I'm putting through it too. Like I had the RIP round test. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but I did the RIP round through ballistics gel and ribs, and it ripped the ribs all the way through the gel and like pushed pieces of meat into the gel. So
that's what I was talking about. Yeah, I saw that.
And you could filter that. You can filter that, but there's still anything slimy or liquid is going to start fusing with the gel, and it's going to start mixing with it. So when you go to remelt it, it's going to really get hazy and nasty. So I usually just, if something's really disgusting and gross, I cut it all out, and I put that to the side for a video that I'm going to be doing. That I'm going to completely just demolish a ballistics gel block. So rather than spending $200 on a fresh block, I'm going to use some of my old crappy gel and just melt it back down and make a not so good looking block of gel to blow up. Yeah, I usually reuse my gel. I just try to keep out every debris I possibly can. So if it means cutting out some product, I do that. If it means filtering, I do that as well.
Okay.
But when you go to recook it though, make sure I take the block, I wash it all off completely, get my hands clean so I don't have any oils on it, and then I chop it into small little blocks, and then I wash each individual piece again with light dish soap, wash it off completely again, and let it dry out in the open for a good day. And then I put all those chunks into a crock pot. I cook it to where it's 280 degrees or 265 degrees or lower, and it takes about, I would say, a good 7 or 8 hours in the crock pot before it completely melts down to a good temperature, and then I pour that through a filter into the mold, and then I put the mold into the oven for 6 hours, and then I let it stand for 72 hours.
And it comes back out crystal glass clear after all that. But I mean, that's the process to get it to that.
That is the process, because if you don't, every bit of hair that goes in there you're going to see because it's so clear. Every bit of yellowing you'll see. If you cook it too hot, it'll turn yellow. If you cook it too cold, it won't melt fast enough. You'll be waiting forever. So it's a very fine line. I kind of nuked one of my blocks once and learned from my mistakes, but I've kind of become the Breaking Bad of ballistics gel cooking.
Okay. You buy that by the block, or you buy the mix?
I get them by the block because they come pre-mixed, so I can instantly get a video out of that, and they come pre-made. So all I do is I take a heat gun. The thing people make a mistake on is they just put the block out, and you'll see it. Any clear ballistics video you've seen out in the market, I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 that have actually done this, but you have to take a heat gun to smooth out the surface, or else it has this weird, rigid, like molded look to the outside surface, and it doesn't look clean. So I take a heat gun and I slow heat the surface till it melts back down and it turns into a smooth glass finish. So when you shoot the gel, you can see what's actually happening.
Cool.
Yeah. It's a lot of work. Right. A lot of work.
It pays off, man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I have a gel block coming up here pretty soon with a round that nobody else has seen ever.
Awesome.
So it's new RIP round coming out in the market that is not even for sale yet.
Cool.
You know what? Might as well drop the news. I'll just drop the news here. Put it right here on your talk show, first ever. It's the 300 Blackout RIP.
300 Blackout.
300 blackout. So it's what they call it. They're calling it the 300 rip out. So it's their spin-off of 300 blackout. So it's 300 RIP out, and it's, I believe, 220 grains subsonic, and I'm going to be testing it through ballistics gel block. And then today I actually have it sitting in my car outside as an entire hog head. So I'm going to shoot a hog in the face with this thing and see what happens.
Dude, where do you live?
I live way North California, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, it's far away.
Yeah, so I live. I mean, people consider San Francisco Bay Northern California, and that's not it. That's 4 hours south of me. I live about an hour and a half south of the Oregon border.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm way up in the mountains. I'm way up in the sticks, where all the good old boys are still living. I figure if Hank Williams called us out in his video, it's good enough for me.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, at least you don't have to. Well, you probably have to follow all those retarded regulations that they got down there in California, don't you?
Oh, you bet. It sucks.
Yeah, because the Daily Shooter had a video. One of the buddies here had a video. One of those little things that you have to stick in a magazine to pull it out.
Yep. It's a
yeah,
bullet button.
Yeah, there we go.
You gotta have a housing around any rifle that's semi-automatic that has a detachable box magazine and it has a pistol grip on it. It has to have a housing that surrounds the release buttons where you have to use a tool to get your magazine to drop free. Clearly, that's smart because the liberals know what they're doing, right?
That's
That was
It's
just
heinous. But it was
made
funny.
me really mad.
If you take that same rifle and take the grip off of it, where there's no pistol grip, you can have a fully functioning button.
Yeah,
But
so
because that naughty little pistol grip gives you so much more control of your gun, they don't want you to have a detachable box magazine.
I saw a company. I heard about a company down there in California that is trying to set up an AR like that, where they take away the pistol grip, so it missed the California complying or whatever, and you don't have to use that thing.
I think I've heard about it, but in my book, that's called the Mini 14. So,
Yeah.
I mean, might as well just buy a Mini 14. It's a really good gun, and it shoots the same caliber. It's the same type of ballistics coming off of it, pretty much, and same size, same durability, if not way more. And it's no grip, so you can detach your magazine real fast.
Yeah. I get really mad every time I hear something. I got a buddy there, and every time he puts out a video, I get like extremely mad. I mean, I'm in North Carolina, and we are pretty okay, open carry state and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's common to see go to Walmart and see 2 or 3 guys with a pistol on the belt,
Yep.
just walking around.
Yep.
So I'm sure you guys don't see that.
And like I told you when we first signed on, it's horrendous because I go to so many different states, like Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, Florida, Texas. I go to all these states, and they're all open carrying, or they're all just dealing with high-capacity magazines, which in California is so dangerous. We're the state of the ghost gun, you don't want a gun.
Yeah.
I was about to say that a minute ago.
Oh God, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, it's bad. I go to these states to go shoot and do my testing and do my videos, and I drive back or fly back, and I feel like I've been neutered. I look at my guns, I'm like, man, I feel bad for them. Yeah.
And one thing that I really, really like about open carry is I don't open carry. I conceal carry my guns. I'm not going to get into the whole debate, but me personally, I like to conceal because I like the fact that no one knows I have a gun. Like I'll be walking around and cops will pass me by, be like, hey, how you doing on the store or whatever, and he has no idea that I got a Glock 17 in my inside my pants kind of thing. And sometimes I carry a 357 revolver, and you have no idea.
I call it the tattoo effect.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, like, if something happens to you or you bend over or like something happened and your gun, you went to the bathroom for whatever reason, came out, and your shirts lift off, somebody see your gun, I mean, you get in trouble in states that are not open carry.
Oh yeah, and it's getting worse and worse because people are so scared by the media that guns are bad and guns kill people, and if you have a gun, you're a killer. And it's just crap because we are the people controlling the gun. You can't load a gun, put it on a table, and just watch it take off and go murder half the people in your neighborhood. But people are getting that persona in their head because they're being fed it, spoonfuls every day by the media. I mean, whether it be Fox News or other channels, Republican or not Republican, they're pushing this idea that firearms are bad, and it's making it worse. But like I said, it's the tattoo effect. You see somebody with tattoos. I got tattoos. I don't show them. I keep them, covered. I have them. I have it across my back, and I have one on my leg. And when people see a tattoo, they instantly think somebody who's up to no good, or is wild or rambunctious, or has done something bad. And so when they see the tattoo, they instantly get defensive. They instantly get on high alert. It's the same thing with firearms. You see somebody who says they have a gun or are carrying a gun, people get all up and heavy about it because they don't know what to expect. But with us, we see guys with guns. We're like, hey, another fellow brother.
Oh yeah.
Because criminals don't expose guns like that. Good civilians do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even man, I got a lot of tattoos too, man. And sometimes I think, man, if I could go back in time, I don't know why I got tattooed those things.
I love my tattoos. I'm getting another big one here pretty soon.
Yeah.
People just it's a negative connotation is what it is. People have a negative connotation towards firearms, and it's the same thing with tattoos. And it doesn't mean one's bad or one's good. It just depends upon the situation.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Andrew. Somebody's already said that the 300 RIP out needed for hog hunting.
Yep. It is, and it's exactly what it's meant for. They're promoting it as a hunting round more than anything. Now, granted, I wouldn't recommend it for a deer because obviously that's a soft-skinned animal already. There's really no need for it. But if you're looking just to destroy a varmint, like I would love to shoot a coyote with that thing so bad, because it's going to blow so much debris out the backside of it, and it's going to drop it so fast. It might just stand still. I didn't think it would fall down. Just stand still, not even move. But it's meant for pretty much anything you want to use it for. Home defense, it'll work just as fine with the two-legged animals as it does the four. So.
Jerry Mandovan sent the request, so once it's available, he needs to get a couple rounds so he can kill a hog.
There you go. There you go. We'll actually have to plan maybe a hog hunting trip. That'd be beast. I would love that.
Hey, it's next March, I can already tell you.
All right, next March I'll get a hold of G2 and we'll get some 300 rip-out rounds out there. We'll pack our guns all full of it and go slay some hogs.
Man, it'll be fun. I'll be there.
I'll see if we can get it sponsored by G2. I have them on my speed dial, so I can see if I can get G2 to send us a couple boxes. And as long as we film it, maybe post a little promotional video, I think they would love to see it.
I think we can make that happen.
Heck yeah, it would be good. So I can't see the comment section. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, guys, but I can't see the comments.
I'll send you I'm gonna put the link in the inside, and you just click on it, and it takes you to the video.
I feel blind right now. But yeah, no, Gary and everything, man. Gary's just a solid guy, like I said before. One of the few YouTube guys that are still, right on the path he was when he first started as he is now. And I talk to him a lot, and he comments on my videos a lot. Anytime I see a good YouTuber pop up on my comment section, especially Gary and Brandon and Mike, it's good to see. We need to keep our groups tight knit when it comes to this community because it gets really shady real fast.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what, man? I mean, and again, it's not like judging or talking bad, but if you want to make it different, you have to have an educated opinion.
Yep.
So many times I see retired guys, and I'm a retired Marine. And I see retired guys, open carry, and they get arrested, and they're screaming, and they're cursing, and they're screaming, hey, I'm a retired Army combat vet of Iraq and Afghanistan, and I get embarrassed, man, because I'm a combat vet of Iraq and Afghanistan twice. I went there several times. Like, why are you expressing yourself like that? You did 20 years in the military, and you didn't learn how to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So having channels that give an educated, not so much educated, and they speak without cursing and this and that is the thing that's gonna win the fight. The guys are screaming and cursing. You guys are not doing anything for the gun community.
Exactly.
That's just my opinion. And typically you can't even talk to those guys because they know everything anyway. So.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing is they have a closed-minded idea of what's right and what's wrong, and no matter what facts you throw at them, it's going to be you're always wrong. So, you're an idiot to argue with an idiot.
Yeah.
And you can't get through them as much as you want to try, and as much as we should try. It's just impossible. And that's why I'm trying to get away from even using the word liberal, because there's a lot of great people out there that are liberals that just haven't seen the light. They just don't see it the way we do because they've been spoon-fed that crap all their life. So, if we close them off, we'll never get to them.
Yeah. Well, we got. I mean, I think the main prepper put a video a long time ago. It was very good. And he talked about 3 different people. You have people that care, people that don't care, and what was the other topic? I forgot all this section. But anyway, he was pretty much trying to say to those people that don't care, we need to educate them so they come into supporters, non-supporter, and people that don't care. We need to bring those guys that don't care into the supporter side. But
Absolutely.
when we do stupid things like that, we just push them away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And back to the faith and religion aspect of things. And I don't like to call it religion. I don't like to call it anything other than what it is. It's a relationship with Christ, and that's what my life is based around, is Jesus Christ. And I hit the sensitive button all the time when I'm around friends or people that don't know me very well, because they're like, "Wow, he's just outspoken with it." I'm like, "You bet your butt I am." I'm not perfect. I cuss. I say and do things that are horrible, and the list goes on and on. But that's why we need God's grace, and that's why we need Christ as our Savior, because we fall short of that glory. And to have a closed-minded opinion off of that as well. You try to reach to people and try to tell them about salvation and the faith-based life, and they instantly get a negative connotation towards it, and they shut you out. So having that open-minded ability to be able to talk to people and not not be worried to, ruffle a few feathers is what we got to do. We're not going to always be liked, but at least we know we are who we are. We're not fake.
Know where you stand.
Yeah. We have a God. I mean, we say a Bible verse every 28 episodes already, and every now and then we got some troll that come here and put some words or whatever, and we're like, whatever, man. If you don't want to hear about Christ, you could just go, man. You know what I'm saying? No. I'm not holding you down.
Yep.
But I tell you what, one day you're gonna have an appointment, and when you make it to that appointment, I know where I'm gonna be standing.
Man, what's your next firearm on the bucket list of trying to acquire that you do want, that you don't have, and that you're thinking about? Just for you personally.
Oh, for purchasing.
Just
for purchasing.
Yeah, just for you.
Thank you. Yeah, well, there's one I'm building right now. I've built quite a few ARs that I have. You guys are kind of cutting out. You still there?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right,
Can
cool.
you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. This stupid coffee shop.
Yeah, somebody's asking who's partying.
Okay. All right. So there's I've built quite a few ARs in the past, and I love the AR platform because it's so customizable. But the one I'm working on right now is the 50 Beowulf. So it's a tank. I don't know if you guys know about that round or not, but it's a 50 caliber AR platform round, and the gun is insane. I mean, the round. Just imagine a 45-70 government lever action round out of an AR platform. That's pretty much what it is. And what's really nice about it is what appealed me to is it takes AR mags. So a 30-round AR mag holds 10 50 Beowulf rounds. That's how big these bullets are, and they're anywhere from 350 grain all the way up to 600 grains. So I cannot wait to feel the recoil off this thing. I'm gonna blow the crap out of something. You bet your butt on that.
When's that build gonna be finished and out?
I kind of got sidetracked today because I bought that new bow. So I bought a new hunting bow for hunting season. So I kind of postponed the 50 Beowulf, but it's still in the process. I have the lower all built, it's all ready to go. I just need to get the upper finished, and I'm guessing probably another 2 months, maybe a little bit more, maybe 2.5 months. I should have it.
End of the summer, then, huh?
I did the same thing, man. I had the lower. I got a lower for an AR for like 4 months, and I was supposed to buy an upper, and I go to the store and I buy an M&P shield. And everybody's like, "You were supposed." I spent all my money. I was like, "You're supposed to buy an upper." I was like, "Man, I hold that thing," and I was like, "It's too pretty," and I walked out with a chill.
Yep. So, I'm in the same boat because it's kind of a wishy-washy situation because I get paid from sponsors, certain sponsors, to go to do certain things, and I can't do certain things for certain sponsors without certain firearms. So usually I'll get paid to go buy a gun, or I'll get money from my sponsors. I can't really get into the details, but it's kind of a little more technical and kind of on the down low. But working with sponsors, sometimes you have to buy certain guns to work with certain products that they're offering, and it's kind of a give and take because it costs money out of my own pocket, but it also allows me to open up another realm for video testing, and brings me more income in the long run. So I'll go into a gun shop and I have a certain amount of money to go buy a gun, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go buy this. And I recently had to go buy a tactical 870 again, because I have a hunting 870, but my tactical 870 I sold a long time ago. I know, don't hate me. I sold it a long time ago, so I had to go buy one. Well, I looked on the wall, and I'm looking at this gorgeous Henry lever action 30-30, and I'm like, I was like, I had it in my hands, but I put it down and decided to go buy what I needed to buy for my work, and got the 870.
Did your job.
Yeah, I got to do the job, which is not a bad job. I'm buying a gun nonetheless. So
Exactly.
don't twist my arm or anything.
Yeah, I get sponsored by the VA too. They pay me to go buy guns.
There you go.
unless the president tries to take away our paycheck.
Yeah.
Which you have tried a couple of times.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
See, that's not to be said, though. I mean, a lot of people get it confused with me. This is why I like doing these chats like this and these broadcasts, is because I get to kind of talk to everybody. I'm not a wealthy person by any means. I never have been. I grew up in a very laid-back country family that had very minimal amount of money, day-to-day jobs, penny pinching pretty much. My family of 4 drove around in a Geo Metro for 4 or 5 years, all 4 of us, getting 2 kids to work, my brother and I. My dad had to go to work, my mom had to go do her thing, and I grew up around a family that literally pinched pennies to make ends meet, and I understand the value of the dollar. And I worked my tail off to get where I'm at right now. 3 years ago, I've been busting my tail, working 4 or 5 jobs at a time. It's gotten to the point now where I can officially say 3 months ago I went officially full-time into what I'm doing, and I'm about to quit my second job strictly due to the fact that I need time. I need more time to make the videos, I need more time to fly around and film, and I do everything kind of on my own, so it takes a lot of time and effort.
Yeah,
But
and I mean, it's kind of difficult too, because a lot of times you may have all that information, but if you don't know how to transfer the information into your viewers, you won't make it. Like I remember 10 months ago I retired, and I sat in my couch and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make YouTube videos, and if you see some of my videos now, Bush Hunt, Tony helped me out with the editing and things like that, and I think they're coming out pretty okay. But if you see my first videos, man, they were horrible, man. It's just, you know what I'm saying? I was used to talking to like 50 Marines and teaching them, hey, hold the rifle this way, do this, do this. But when you put a camera in front of you and you're talking to a camera, it's like totally different, man. And you got to put music and this and that. And you're like, what the heck?
And see, I consider myself a production company now. I don't even call myself a YouTuber anymore, because YouTubers are kind of held in this little box. I like to work with other companies where they know I've done it already, and I've done it in the past, and I'm still going to be doing it. I make productions for them strictly, and they use it for commercials. So I go out and I film. I'm the cameraman. I get to be actually behind the camera rather than having it on a tripod, so I can actually put my skills in full effect. And I'll film a video for them, give them the footage, and edit it for them so they can use it as a commercial. And nobody ever knows I did it, but it still pays. It pays very well, and it's good to do. But it comes down to, we have viewers that are watching that are used to the go, go, go attitude of today's life. And they see movies constantly that have all this action. So unless we start filming our productions that way, they lose interest real fast. And so I'm filming my videos now in a cinematic way. I have to stop, edit, cut, move, film from another area. I mean, I work with 4 or 5 different cameras, but I still have to move things to make things work and to get the focus points to change, do close-ups of rounds being chambered, just so it keeps people's interest and keeps the frame rates to where it changes scenes every 2 seconds, so it's not one stagnant shot. And it's tough because you wanted to sit there and be like, bam, do it like an instructor, yell at the TV or yell at the camera, and then make the video. But to do it that way, it's tough, to say the least. And working with the sunlight, working with shadows and audio, and making sure it all works, it's a long process to make even just a 2-minute video.
I tell you what, if you ever had a chance, check out Tony's channel.
I'm gonna do it right after we're done.
Yeah, he has one of the best videos that I ever seen here on YouTube. Like the dude has, like it's like a movie. Like I'm watching a movie when I watch this thing. Like cameras everywhere, like like he's the one who tells me, hey, do this, like, you know, like say GY6VIDS, and then wait a second, put the intro, and all. Like me, I was like totally lost, man. I took so fast that I was like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, dude, you need to slow down.
Slow down a minute. Yeah, calm down. Don't go full retard.
Yeah, I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
I do that all the time. I just go full hard, and I start talking way too fast. I'm like, okay, take 2. Slow it down.
And then when I'm almost done with the video that I actually did it good, I'm about to be finished, my phone rings, and it's my wife or something. And I'm like, oh, man.
I hear you, man. There's always Murphy's Law is always kicking into effect. He's always going to be there.
All right. What camera are you using?
Right now, I'm actually using the T5i. I use the T5i Canon, but I've upgraded my lenses recently to the 24x105 millimeter red ring lens. They're high professional lenses.
Nice.
Fantastic, 77 millimeter lens, great quality. But I'm upgrading to the 5D Mark III here pretty soon. So.
You ever think about buying a red or?
As much as my soul would love to, my pocketbook tells me otherwise. There's a new one coming from Canon that's strictly a cinematic camera. It's not meant for pictures. It's meant for filming and meant for video work. And I want to buy it, but it's like 15 to 20 grand. And you know,
it has high speed?
It does not have high speed. It's just strictly a filming camera that they filmed a couple movies with, actually.
Yep.
And, I'm down the road, it'll happen. But right now, I pinch my pennies still, even though I have money to play around with nowadays.
You have to, man. You never know.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. So I save for the things I absolutely need, and one day I will need that. But for right now, my next goal is the 5D Mark III. So we'll have that one.
Yeah, that's a good camera.
Yeah, but I run 3 DSL. I run 2 DSLRs right now, and then a Handycam and 3 different GoPros. So it's a lot of footage to kind of render down.
Yeah. You see, me and Davis are like, what are they talking about?
Sorry. I apologize.
we're like, is this what you're talking about right here?
Exactly. That's what everybody uses.
That's what we're talking about.
I got this from Amazon for $118. Is this what you're talking about?
Actually, that thing is durable as hell. You want to know why?
Yeah, it works, man.
I flew it to the moon, and it still works.
Man, I'm with you, Tommy. Got a GoPro now. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, man. Some of those cameras that are less expensive are reliable as heck, and I use them as what I call my destructive cameras because I put them in harm's way all the time, and they still keep coming back from the grave. I don't know why.
Have you ever checked out the Contour cameras?
Yes, I have.
They're not that bad, man, and they're up there with the GoPros and cheaper.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. The only issue I have with them is the fact that the heads-up displays. They need to make something that's going to be a better heads-up display to see what you're filming. I run a little LCD backpack on the back of mine so I can see what I'm actually looking at.
Okay.
Because frame rate is nice because you can do pretty good slow-mo with the GoPros, but you need to see where your frame's at and what you're actually keeping in frame, what's actually out of frame. And you have the Wi-Fi app that's through your phone, but even that's kind of sketchy if you're in a bad area. So.
Yep.
No, I'm glad you're talking about that because I mean I get emails sometimes and people ask me, hey, especially the last 10, 15 videos, I've been putting a lot of time on it, and putting pictures and all B-rolls and all that.
Yeah.
And, people ask me, hey, how do you do that? You know what? If you want to learn how to do it, like I sat down in front of my computer and watched hours of iMovie, how to use iMovie.
Yep.
And that's what you're gonna take. You're gonna have to learn. You know what? I mean, I'm not to that level, but if I will make it to that level, I will have to learn that to bring a better product. So don't think it's easy. It's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, not at all. And I've been doing videography and cinematography for over 7 years now, so it just takes time. Kind of learn it and learn from the mistakes you make and just work your way up. And there's always something to learn. The moment you think you know everything about it, you're going to learn something else. So it's just a matter of just kind of plugging away. And right now I'm actually getting into more of a tapping my resources into like Photoshop now. So I'm trying to make my thumbnails better. And oh my God, man. Talk about learning something. I feel like I'm lost.
Tony made that GY6VIDS that you see in my videos. He actually, one comes out from one side and the other one comes out from the other side. They like kind of meet up, and he was like, "Hey man, I made you this," and I was like, "Okay, thanks, man." Like, I don't even care how you did it, dude. Don't even explain it to me. Just put it in a Dropbox. I'm downloading to my computer and that's it.
Shut up and take my money is what I was saying. I have no clue how that stuff works half the time. But my guy makes my intros for me for my videos, and it's really in depth and very good, well used machines he's using with and he's working with. But he tries to explain it to me. I'm like, oh man, just shut up and take my money. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Your intro's nice. Has that 3D effect in it.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and everything I have through my intros and my outros, I've designed. I just kind of put my thoughts on paper for him. I send it to my digital designer, and he creates it for me. And this is freaking fly. Hold on a second, I'm gonna assassinate this fly.
Take that round that you got in the car.
Yeah, I know, right? Taking out my concealed in a public coffee shop probably wouldn't be good.
You're in California. You have like 20 cops around you in like 5 minutes.
Get tased. I think there's a violation for killing flies in this state.
I would be scared to walk around there.
But no, I give all my stuff to my digital designer, and he designs it, and it takes about 2 or 3 months to really kind of polish my ideas with how he's making it, and it turns out very well. But man, it just blows my mind how you guys do that stuff. I'll get into it eventually, but man, for right now, I don't got the time.
And as you know, a smaller channel, I usually go into the big channels and I see what you guys do, how you have the format. Like a lot of times, I'm just watching the video, and sometimes I'm not really rewatch a video, but I'm just watching your format. Like I already know what you're gonna say. I want to see how you're doing it, so I could go back and kind of like imitate you in a way. So I mean, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying?
Stick with what you like. You know, go through things you like that people are making and try to mimic it or do it. And you know, it's I mean, the sincerest form of flattery is imitation. And so, heck yeah. I mean, I hope to God you're looking at some of mine.
Yeah. Oh, I am, man. I am.
But it all comes down to, though, man. It all comes down to we're all on the same level. It's just I happen to be seen for a little bit longer period of time. That's it. I'm just a podunk white boy from Northern California who likes to blow crap up. I just happen to be doing it for a little bit longer.
Man.
That's awesome, man. You're doing a good job with it, dude. The videos look great. It's obvious that you've been doing it for a while.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to keep that in quality.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up. We have about an hour and 5 minutes.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate you coming. Well, let's do a couple of outro before we do the last thing. Tony, you got anything you want to pass? You wrote down notes because you asked a lot of questions, man.
Besides that amazing tactical beard.
Yes.
I believe you can hide some 223 rounds in there.
There's one right here.
Right there. Let's see your hands there. So it makes it tactical.
As far as my stuff on my channel, yeah, I'm trying to pull out one video a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, yeah, other than that, I'm just helping out other channels. You know, like Jarhead.
Yeah.
So
hey, you did a new intro for Gun. The picture with the man, that came out so nice. Yeah, like it's a picture of the dude and then he's holding the shotgun and some kind of way he made a scene with the dude is like
I animated him. Yeah.
That's
How
awesome.
do you do? Wow, man. That was
Sell your
awesome.
soul to the devil for those skills.
David, you got anything to pass?
Man, like I said, I've got a couple of videos that are going to be upcoming. I'm going to shoot the gel block one of these days when I get a round to put through it.
Send me an email after we're done.
Okay.
I'll send you some ammo, buddy, so you can at least have a couple rounds to shoot through it.
Awesome, man. Thank you. That'll be sweet. Of course. That's coming. I've got a couple leather products, like I say, from a fellow Kentuckian that I'm going to promote his stuff a little bit. I made some videos today about that, so that'll be coming pretty soon. And then just anything else that I find fun. I took a trip down the river the other day. That's going to make it to the cinema at some point. So we'll just we'll see what comes.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Andrew, anything you want to pass before we go off?
I just want to say thanks, guys. I appreciate it anytime being on these things. It's fun to meet new people, and that's what it's all about, meeting new people in the industry. And, you know, it's very rare to have good, level-headed people in the industry and in the world. So it's nice to be able to talk to you guys. And then as far as my videos go, I got about 65 videos I haven't even posted yet that I've already filmed. So I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I've been working my butt off for the last year and a half, and I have 65 videos that are just sitting in my archive that I upload one at a time. and I'm making about 1 or 2 videos new every week. So just stay tuned.
Cool, cool, cool.
Awesome.
All right, guys, everybody, I appreciate you guys watching. You know, we definitely appreciate the support, and we appreciate you coming. It was definitely fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and definitely welcome to come back anytime you want. Just let us know, and we kick Tony out. It's okay. All right, guys. So as always, God bless, and all my friends are warriors.
Good night.